It is a very special day. It's a very special day because finally I completed it with help. I mean, I didn't really do it. I didn't do anything except hold my mouth open. Everyone else did the work. I paid the money though. That's important too. I paid a lot of money. But let's talk about it. Dental implants. That's fun to say, but it's more fun to be done. So yeah, this morning was the final. Actually, it was afternoon. It was 12 o'clock appointment. This morning, afternoon was the final step. Implant in, screwed in, all this. I don't even watch half the stuff they do. I've watched things too. I've watched like stitches be sewn up, but yeah, some things I don't want to. I don't need to see. I like the mystery of it all. I like not knowing what's going on. It's somehow it feels better. But it ended a long process. Now, for implants, you talk to people and they'd say, oh, no, it takes 9 months, it takes 6 months, it takes whatever. I think for me, it was like 4 or 5. But again, there's a lot of factors involved in that. And I'm just in such good health. That's part of it, maybe, for me. Now, you know what? What did I say? I wish I knew about having an implant. I'll just go ahead and say it right now because, I'm not going to waste the whole video to get to that point. This is what you need to know. I would think for me, now I'm going to, in exchange for giving this information early, how about a like? How about that's their deal? That's our deal. I'll give the information right now and you give a like. Is that it? We'll shake hands on it? There we go. Yeah, we shook hands. Okay. I wish I'd known that it's just so easy and really it was just sort of a non-issue. It really was. I mean, from start to finish, for me, this whole implant thing, it's just been crazy how simple it was and how easy it was and no pain. I mean, just... Now, it's not cheap. That's the one thing. That doesn't go away. I mean, there was no... What the people say it's very expensive? Yes, it's very expensive. That has not changed. I won't say it's not expensive. It is, but you get what you pay for type thing. And you wonder, as you go through it, and I'll talk about the procedures, like, why is it so expensive at all? But we'll cover that. So, there you go. I've already just given the answer. We can stop at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Done. Now, if you're totally new to the idea of an implant, what happens is they put in what's called a fixture, which is cool. I took an extra picture of the X-ray. It's like neat, this little screwy. It's like a post in the ground. You put the post down. Is that the best? We don't usually. Forget that. They put something down, like a screw down in there that holds it into your gum line. So they have to drill a hole, put it in there. And then you wait a while. That's a long waiting period. It heals. Then they kind of put a... hold on. What's it called? I guess abutment. Yeah, I guess at that point we call it the abutment. The abutment, so it sticks up, and that, a little bit of waiting period after that, and then a prosthesis, so like your tooth on top of that. It's not even new. This has been going on a while. My former dentist really just never recommended this, but I kind of wish it had been recommended because I would have gone this way a long time ago. A long, long time ago. I've said that twice tonight. So it worked out really well for me. So far, I mean, I just got it today. Who knows, next month is like, what have I done? But I don't think that's going to happen. To answer, should you do it? Should you? What should you do? I would say, well, you should, let's go back in time. You should always like brush and floss religiously every morning, afternoon, night, maybe a few more times. Take perfect care of your teeth, never have anything go wrong. But let's just say that has not happened, where you had some problems and whatever, it got worse. So, I mean, we can't change the past. So let's deal with the present. You've got a hole in your mouth, like you got a problem. For me, the top part of the tooth had gone through like, I don't know, a cavity and then a crown. And it had progressed to get worse and worse. And then one day you're eating and like enough breaks off, you realize, oh no, what can they do about half the tooth above the gum line being broken off? Not a lot, turns out. You extract the tooth. So you're dealing with that. It's heartbreaking. It's more mentally hard than anything else. It's like, no, this sucks. Because for me it sucked because up to that point I realized I don't think there's anything can be done except for the bridges now. So again, what can you do? You're missing a tooth. What do you get? You get option 1, nothing. I mean, you have to have what's left extracted. That's just, I mean, don't know what would happen if you didn't, but you pretty much have to have the extraction. The extraction is the worst part, I think, of anything. For me, even though I've had pain in root canals, an extraction is by far the most horrific part for me. I just like that feeling. I mean, I was like numb, but yanking a tooth out of your body is not a good feeling. So I would say the extraction is just sucks. I mean, if you can be unconscious for the extraction, be unconscious for the extraction. Oh man, I just did not like that at all. That was not fun time. Not fun times. Not good memories. I mean, I was like pouring down sweat. I'm not gonna go into that. It was bad. It's all bad. But anyway, so you got the tooth extracted. Now what do? You got a hole in your mouth. Option 1, you don't do anything. You leave the hole. There's a few reasons why you don't want to do that. Number 1, well, visually it sucks, especially if it's a visible tooth. I mean, if it's in the back, well, that. Number 2, what is number 2? Hold on. So number 2, it affects speech. You can hear it. That can change. Although people could get used to that. It's not the biggest thing in the world, I suppose, but it might be kind of annoying. Number 3, it affects eating. You have to be able to eat. You've got one less tooth to eat with, and that puts more pressure on the other teeth. Number 4, crowding. And this is kind of the scary thing, that the other teeth are going to start kind of going, filling in the gap, and then more space. It just creates a mess. This is not a good option. Now, I say that understanding that dental work is expensive and it's not always provided, even with insurance and Medicare and Calicare and Obamacare, whatever all the cares are. It's not. I mean, we try and do medical stuff, but we don't always do very well at dental, which kind of sucks because dental care can be expensive, especially the stuff I'm talking about today. This was not cheap. This was not cheap. I'm going to get into that, but it's not cheap. So I understand that just some people just don't have the finances, and that is sort of a privilege or luxury thing for some people, especially if you've worked really hard and tried really hard your whole life, and you just don't have money just because of life happens. So I'm not saying everyone can do it. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it can be an option. Number 2, bridge. So let's say you have some money and you can't go as far as an implant. Well, you've got the idea of a bridge. I think even if you didn't know what it was, you could probably figure it out. So you got a fake tooth in the middle, and it's attached to 1 or 2 real teeth that are still there, which is great unless you lose those. And then you're starting to get some problems. Then you're getting closer to dentures, I guess. So you got those things. Now, there's some problems with dentures, of course, that, not dentures, but bridges, because now, if the 2 teeth are in great shape, let's just say a tooth knocked out, if the 2 teeth next are in great shape, they got to kind of shave down that enamel, that beautiful, beautiful enamel. They got to kind of shave that down, put it on top, and it just weakens. Anytime you kind of take stuff off the teeth, what's naturally there, you weaken the teeth. You do not want weak teeth. Same thing with cavities. Anytime you get a cavity or a crown or things like that, it adds up. Teeth get weaker. So not ideal. Another thing, bridges don't last forever. I don't know, 10, 12 years. You can get a half bridge where it's just connected to 1 tooth, but then kind of puts a levering action on the teeth. You don't want that. You can do 2. And that's kind of cool, but again, you have to have the teeth that be sacrificed on the sides. If they've already got crowns, no big deal. But the costs start to add up when you do things like that. And of course, option number 3, door number 3 is the full implant, where it really is like getting a brand new tooth. So for the implant, yeah, if you can go that road, I recommend it. But the price, I mean, it's just, I'd say either double or triple what the bridge would be. For me, I was always hesitant because I didn't know much about it. I heard the stories of said, no, you don't want to do anything like that. Yeah, you do want to do that. If you can afford it, you definitely, I think, do. There are other things to consider. Not everyone is a candidate for it. There could be problems. Your body could reject it. But I don't know if these things are realistically any worse than the bridge option or no option. It's just, you hear about, we gravitate towards those horror stories, but don't realize that we're talking about the 2% maybe. I don't have the facts and figures, but the 2% instead of the 98% where it's totally fine and successful. So I think they just want to let people know we can't guarantee 100% success rate, and here's why. And we focus on that why. Oh no, that why. That's gonna be me. But no, you're probably going to be the 98%. So that is my takeaway, is that if you can do the implant, do the implant. It was just going in, I really just thought, oh, there's going to be problems, it's going to be painful, it's going to be a lot of discomfort, because I talked to people and heard those stories. I think almost zero pain, and like really, really like the pain and discomfort was to the wallet, nothing else. There was a point where the healing abutment, I don't ask a lot of questions, so I didn't have a lot of information, but when the healing abutment came out, I let it go for like a couple weeks because I was vacationing at the time, and then when I told the dentist, "Oh, come in," and he had to screw it back down, that was very, very painful. Maybe I shouldn't use very. It was pretty painful. It hurt a lot. It wasn't extreme, but it hurt because the gums started to like kind of grow back, and it was supposed to keep the gums away for the healing time. So yeah, if that happens, if it comes loose, they say it doesn't come loose very. It's very seldom. Well, if it happened to me, it can't be that seldom. I'm not that unlucky. Then you want to go in right away and have it screwed down and tightened down. That healing abutment needs to be there and needs some time to heal. Again, timelines are another big thing to consider. Timelines, because again, we talked about 9 months, 6 months, whatever. I think a lot of it has to do when you have the tooth extracted. Mine was like years. I mean, 4 years maybe, I think. Yeah, I think it was 4 years at least. So the 100% healing was done. My gum line, everything had filled, healed, whatever. So it was ready for the drilling down, the fixture in place. And I think that's where the timeline was short for me. Because again, start to finish, as far as that, was like 5 months. If you count, sure, the extraction date at that point, then it does add some time. So I don't know. That's where if you just say, well, I need to go from extraction to the final, like me today, yay, the implant, that's where it might be the 9 months or longer. I don't even know at that point. But for me, I'd say 100% worth it. It just, I mean, I don't like to show pictures of the teeth. It's just weird stuff. But it feels so strong. I feel confident. I can eat there. I feel more confident than the crowns next to me. My whole procedure was a little extra complicated for me, because I was doing 2 crowns next to it. So redoing some crowns. It wasn't even there were new crowns. They're redoing some crowns. So it was a crown, if you want the numbers, 18, 19, and 20. And 20 was the implant. So 18, 19, 20 we're getting crowns. Implant, which isn't quite a molar, but an incisor, I want to say. But I don't even know. I don't know all of it. I'm not a dentist. I don't even play one on TV. So I lost a pen. Cap. You got all that to consider. I would say do it if you can afford it. Again, it's not, but you get your tooth as close as you can, I think, to a real tooth. Side note, some trivia. Sharks grow new teeth when they lose teeth. They get to grow new teeth. I thought, how did they luck out? What's it with the sharks not getting cancer and growing new teeth? And it's like, how do they get a better deal than we do? They don't have to. They don't have the internet. I mean, I guess they figure that out. But no, sharks don't get the internet. But for us, it's like, we don't get to grow new teeth when we lose teeth. We got to deal with all this stuff. And it's expensive, but modern science, wow, we've come a long way. I mean, theoretically, you could like get implants for any lost tooth, but hopefully you won't have that many. I mean, hopefully 1 is the limit, or 0 is like what you have to face. But if you do face a couple, the price is expensive, but the results are pretty darn good. It's come a long way with modern medicine, so don't hesitate to get an implant just because you hear those bad stories. I'm not guaranteeing nothing bad will happen, because you could be part of that 1 point whatever %, but chances are you're going to be okay. It's expensive, but would you rather have money or teeth? There you go.